Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie. And as you can see, we're in a slightly different setting to what we normally are. I am back in LA, but I am having a major computer problem. So I thought I'd move it to the living room. We're back on my iPad, so if I'm holding the cards weirdly, I apologize. I hope everyone managed to get outside and see the comet. I have not seen it yet. So for those of you that are watching this live, it will be visible an hour after sunset in the western sky. Hopefully, if you're somewhere dark enough, the mountains or buildings won't be blocking your view. I am going to head out on an adventure as soon as I'm done with this and see if I can see it. Anne was posting photos yesterday of it because she and Maya went out to see it, and the photos are incredible. So go and check those out. And also, I forgot to mention last week that if you missed the latest episode of Gemini Rising, we had Gemini Brett on the show, and it was just such a fantastic episode. So make sure you head to the Natalie Sadie YouTube page to go and check that episode out. It was a whole lot of fun. Okay, so let's get into the next week and see what the energies hold. We are coming up to this full moon in Aries, and it is a super moon, so the energies are quite intense, and we've just come off eclipse season, so all the energies are bubbling and brewing. So I hope you're all doing well and keeping yourselves grounded and in a place where you're able to easily navigate all of this energy that is coming about. Okay. Okay, this card came up, I think it was last week, self-image, improving your self-image, focusing on what you can change, superficial confidence, insecurity issues. So this is clearly something that we are all still struggling with and focused on. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. Celebration, parties, social events, happy outcomes, group events, socializing, and going out more. So I think whenever we are heading out to gatherings and around other people, we always worry about how we look, what we're wearing, what everybody else is wearing, what everybody else is doing. And we can be incredibly insecure at times because of that, because we're always so busy worried about everybody else's perception and whether we're good enough. And I think we have to remember that there's only one of us, and that's exactly what makes us special in this world. And that's why we came here, to be individuals. And so I think you need to remember that and embrace who you are when you're going out and being social and around all these people, and be you. I think you'll have a much better time if you're able to do that. So the next card is anger. You feel you've been wronged, arguments, disagreements, temper, egos clash, and pent-up anger. So like I mentioned at the beginning, we've got the full moon in Aries. You know, Mars rules Aries, and Mars is the planet of war. So it makes sense that these emotions are being triggered. I mean, if you have a look at that ball that's sitting above the hand and shooting the flames down, to me, that's very Mars-esque. So we have to, I feel like there's all this contradictory energy this week, you know, where we're feeling self-conscious, but it's a time where there's lots going on around us and lots of social opportunities, which is a wonderful way to network for work. It's a wonderful way to meet new people if you're single, or if you're just needing friends. And it might be that you've outgrown your previous circle, and so you're looking for new people to sort of join your tribe. but either way, it's a great place to be in. But we've got this super moon happening, and like I said, it's Mars, or it's happening in Aries. The ruler is Mars, so it's easy for all these different emotions to be triggered. The other thing is, if we're feeling insecure about who we are, where we are, all of that, anger is often triggered in those moments. So you need to keep all of that in mind. Okay, so the next card is renewal. Powerful inner transformation, leave old flames, embrace the new, release of energy and emotions, playing with fire. So I kind of love that this is coming up after anger, but if you have a look, there's lots of flames going on. So clearly the element of fire is playing a part in this week's energy. Again, it all makes perfect sense. Full moons generally represent closure of things. You know, the new moons are the beginning, and new things sprouting. But when things end, that's when there is space for new things to begin. So I talked about this, I think, a couple of months ago. Whenever there's a forest fire or a bushfire, as we call them in Australia, as devastating as it is, it's also a time of renewal for the earth. It's when certain seeds are freed from the casings that they're in, and they replant, because when the rain comes, everything starts sprouting fresh and new. And the history of this earth is that fire often comes through at a time when renewal is needed. So as much as endings and closing things out can be a tough space, it leaves space for a new beginning in a lot of ways. So allow the chapters that need to close to close. Enjoy the Aries and the Mars energy, and enjoy that fire. I mean, I'm a fire sign, and fire is probably one of my favorite elements. It always has been. Love watching things burn. So embrace all of that energy. Okay, we just had 2 jump out. We've got trial and error, experimenting with your life, inexperienced in a job or situation, willingness to try new things, exploring all possibilities. Again, we had this card come out reasonably recently. And, you know, when things aren't working out, it's a good time to experiment and try, because by trying new things, even if it doesn't work, you're going to figure out what does work, what doesn't work, what things need to be changed a little bit, and you move forward from there. It's an incredible place to learn. And then the other card that jumped out was third party. Others interfering in your business, possible love triangle, too many people involved, someone is watching you. So be aware of who that third party is. To me, it stands out that it's more about somebody being in your business when maybe they're not invited or not needed. And maybe that's the thing one of the things that needs to close out in this cycle. It's time to stand up and say, you know what, thank you so much for your energy, but I don't need it. I need to move forward and make my decisions for my life. And that's okay. I'm going to pull one more before we move on. A man. A male friend enters your life, a male romantic interest, a man will assist you, a man plays a key role. So maybe that third party is this man. Maybe the man comes when there is this celebration that's happening. If this is a romantic thing, I feel like you need to get on top of the whole self-image issue. You don't want to start a relationship when you've got this thing hanging over you or weighing you down energetically. When we're down on ourselves, it's a lot. But just be open to this person. The fact that trial and error and third party came out together, maybe in the trial and error there is a third party involved or helpful with that whole process, and it could very well be this man that comes in to your life. So we have the Fairies Oracle. As you saw in the thumbnails, the fairies are out. And who doesn't love when the fairies are out here and ready to communicate with us? Hope. Hope is always there, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. I love that she's got a rainbow. Rainbows always come after the rain. And I will say, my last day in Hawaii, there was a double rainbow as I was leaving the beach, and then I got back to my hotel and there was another rainbow just sort of right over the balcony. And I don't know what the message was in terms of, there wasn't clear guidance. I was telling friends that it was Hawaii, celebrating my visit. The Big Island is so incredibly special. But either way, rainbows are such a positive symbol and a positive sign. So with all this energy that is so all over the place over this next week, with all the astrology that's going on, keep hope present the entire time, because it is all going to be fine. Don't get lost in the anger. Don't get lost in the trial and error if what you've tried didn't work, because the whole thing is, when something doesn't work, it's giving you information that will help you grow moving forward. And you need to keep focused on that. It's actually a good thing because it's giving you the information that you need. Manifestation is the next card. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now, write it down on paper. Manifestation, step 1. Everybody can manifest. Everybody absolutely can. And there are times where people become frustrated when things don't happen immediately exactly the way they want it to. And then they go, well, it doesn't work. Some manifestations take longer. I was in a relationship many, many years ago, and he was the one that floated living in the US. And I was all in. I was like, sure. I didn't know what our future held, but I was ready for it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. That relationship didn't work. And when it didn't, I thought, well, the US dream is dead. He never moved to the US either. And then years later, things came full circle and opportunities presented themselves. And here I am. So that manifestation probably took 10 years, but it still came to be. So you have to, if there's something you want or you need, put it out to the universe. Just don't energetically hold on to it and obsess over it. The whole US thing, the day that relationship ended, I let it go and honestly thought I would have loved that, but it wasn't meant for me. And the universe will always bring you what is meant for you. So put it out there. Do not lose hope. Okay. Believe in magic. I feel like this is the same card we got last time I used these cards. Believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around in nature. The fairy of the Northern Lights says you are part of nature. You are magical too. So I feel like people need a reminder that they can manifest and that they are magical creatures and that they do have more power than what maybe you realize you do. And I love that this is the fairy of the Northern Lights when we're having a moment where we're seeing the Northern Lights again. And I don't think they're visible tonight, but they are going to be visible from tomorrow. So I was thinking about which deck to round this all out with. And I had a very strong pull that we needed the self-care wisdom cards. I don't know why, because I was seriously thinking about doing the shadow work, but looking at the energy that's coming out here, I feel like it's a week to be very careful to take care of yourself. So keep that in mind. Patience. It's safe to wait. I mean, that's confirming everything that I just said about manifestation. It doesn't all need to happen immediately. And I say this as someone who is the most impatient person you will ever meet. When I speak to people and they say, well, what do you want? Or when do you want this to happen? My answer is always, I want it yesterday. But it's okay to wait. And divine timing is a thing. So be patient with yourself if you're not getting things done in the timely manner that you want. I was talking to Anne just before we started this because there is an interview that I'm trying to finish the edit on, and I just can't get a break. Every time I go to do it, something happens, something gets in the way. Now it's my computer, and I just have to trust the timing of it. There is literally nothing I can do. So be patient. I'm going to pull 2 more of these. Time spent worrying is time spent. When you are freaking out about anything that's going on in your life, you're taking away from enjoying the present, and it doesn't serve any purpose. You're not, by worrying, having anxiety over everything, it's not achieving anything. It's just taking your joy away in this moment. And especially if you're in a place where you've got an invite to a celebration, if you're freaking out about something and you're wasting your time being upset, whether it be about how you look or something's not working out in the time that you want it to, you're taking joy out of this, where you could be creating incredible experiences and memories for yourself. And it serves no purpose. It doesn't achieve a single thing other than stealing joy. Calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. I feel like these cards are essentially just confirming what we got in the beginning of the reading. The whole renewal thing. It's the same as when things end, it means new things begin, new things come in to your life. So, I mean, calm, patience, time. They're all in line with each other. So, all right, last card, security. True security comes from having a reserve of time, space, and energy, personal power, and love. Make deposits in all of these accounts and you'll be a wealthy person indeed. So you have to remember what is important in life, and you've got to put everything into perspective. Going and looking at the comet is going to remind you how tiny we are in this whole universe. Looking at the northern lights is going to remind you how tiny we are in this universe. So keep all of that in mind, put everything into perspective, and everything will get sorted out. You need to keep an open mind and an open heart and be open to whoever this man is coming in. Unless, of course, he's a third party that's causing you all sorts of grief. At that point, cut ties and trust that what you need will enter once you free yourself of the weights that are holding you back. I feel like it's a lot going on, but I don't necessarily get that it's bad. We get to determine the outcome of all of this crazy energy depending on how we react and respond to it all. So keep that in mind. You can have a freak out. I was freaking out about the computer right before this. I was messaging with my computer guy. But the reality is, it is what it is. He can't get to me till next week. And so I'll figure it out. I will get through. I'll find a workaround and do the things that I can do. Anything that I can't, it will wait until next week. It is what it is. So like I said to you at the beginning of the show, make sure you go and check out our latest episode of Gemini Rising with Gemini Brett. Such a great episode. Anne and I are doing our next episode next Thursday. So I will remind you next Monday. But next Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific, we have an incredible guest. We will promote that shortly. And of course, Anne is doing History in the Stars, I believe, this Wednesday. I think that's right. I'll be in the studio for the first time, in the new studio for the first time for full disclosure. So super excited about that. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a member of High Vibe, get on that. I will have the link in the description below. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined me live, who's watching this after the fact. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person, and that's okay. And as always, Anne, thank you so much.